right. I think we're live. This mouse did not want to work. So, note to self. Need to put that new batteries in those. So, I think that's why it didn't want to work. Good morning, everybody. Hope you have your beverage of choice. Or if you're watching this late at night, I hope you have your beverage of choice. Today, good morning, Janice. Today we're gonna kind of go over the tea stain thing. Or coffee stain. I tried tea stain, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the smell of it as it dries. It smells very sour. So I'm gonna stick to coffee stain. So I mixed what was left of my tea stain with some coffee stain, and it turned out really kind of cool. So, but I've got my iron here, and we're gonna iron. This is all that's dry. Okay, I'll show you what I've done here real quick. These are some printouts, and if you would like them, let me know. My friend Heather would not have a problem with me sharing them, but they're kind of old and like antique. This is like an Illuminati or an illumination. That's what it's called, an Illuminati. Where am I getting that from? Oh yeah, probably the Secret Society. But they're just really cool. They were printed out on just white copy paper. That one's really cool. I have it upside down, but and then I tea stained them, I coffee stained them, and I let this. That's how I got that crackly look. Was I set it out in the sun, and it dried really cool. This is the one that we're gonna for surely iron today. These two, these are what we did. I think we did these on the live stream. I've been working on so many different things. I can't remember what's on what and who's on second and whatever. So these are the two that we're going to use today. So I'll make sure those get pressed. And then here's a whole bunch more. And then I did some graph paper just because I think it's cool. I'm a nerd. So I did a whole bunch of graph paper. And this is the graph paper, but I put it out in the sun again. I'm going to tell you how I did this really quick. But I put this out in the sun, and this is what happened to it. So, and then these are just smaller pieces of graph paper that I did. I took apart a whole tablet of graph paper and did this. And then these are pages to a notebook. What are they called? Composition book from the dollar store. I just took them apart and stained them. I did them very lightly. I didn't do them very heavy. Okay, so what I do is I lay out a piece of parchment. Okay, I've got parchment here. I lay out a piece of parchment, and then I put down whatever it is I'm tea staining. Oh, we want to do that one too. Whatever it is I'm tea staining or coffee staining, and then I spray it with my bottle, and then I take, this is wax paper. That's the food service wax paper, so it's not as waxy. It's like only waxy on one side, I think. No, it's waxy on both. But it's a dry wax. So it's not like wax paper where it's a heavy wax. It's very light. So I put this down on top of it, just like this. And then I do another layer of paper. And I found that I can do 10 layers. Don't do more than 10. Because I did like, I want to say 15 or 16 layers. I pushed the gamut. I pushed the ball. And these are still wet. And this is 2 days later, but they turned out really cool. They got this cool, crusty stuff, but that's still really wet. So I'm leaving it in here to dry, because I don't want it to blow away, because it's dry enough to blow away, but not dry enough to use. So we're going to put these aside for a moment. And what we're going to do is just kind of I got a piece of parchment here. So what I have on my tabletop is, this is just an old towel that I folded over. This is, they use these for pressing like vinyl onto fabric, heat pressing. There we go. You can use the things that you use to line your oven with, but these are cheaper. So I'm just going to put that, and then I put a piece of parchment over the top. And then I have my iron set at a 3, and this is just a cheap Black & Decker iron from Walmart that I bought like 2 years ago. And I think this is like the 8th time I've used it. Actually, it was longer than 2 years ago. But we're just going to press out as many of the wrinkles as we can, because we're going to put this on the inside cover of a book, because I have an idea for a book. But we're going to, I keep changing, and I'm sorry, I have ADD and I have all these ideas, and you know, I have ooh shiny squirrel moment. And so I figured, you know what, I was going to work on the book from Dragon Con. I was going to work on that, but then I'm like, well, I want to practice first before I start using, you know, the real deal, the good stuff, you know. So I'm going to practice. So we're going to practice together. And I've done some stuff on my own, but you see how nice and flat that is now? I mean, it's still curled up at the edge, and we can press that out. You don't have to use the parchment, but I figure if I'm going to burn anything, I'd rather burn the parchment. Okay, I'm bringing this up to a 4, just because I don't want to spend 3 years doing this. So I am putting some firm pressure down. So I have this cookbook, this French cookbook, and it's translated from French, and I tore it apart because it was published in 1962, and the binding was already starting to come apart anyway. I mean, it was probably half hanging in there. I got it at a thrift store many years ago. And I think I paid like $1 for it, maybe 2. Because when I go to a thrift store, I'm very particular about what I buy and what price point I buy it for. I understand thrift stores are there to be charitable and whatever, but if I can buy it new for $1 more, I'm going to buy it new for $1 more. So it's like, this is used product. I want used pricing. Okay. There we go. See how nice and flat that is now? You see there's no curve to it, but you still got that lovely coffee stain. And this is a map of, it's a motor road mat of Southeast England. And I thought it was really cool. So I bought that paper new on clearance for like $2. So clearance sections are my friend. All right. So see how wobbly this one is? Can you see the wobbliness? So we're going to test this guy out. Yeah, who's on first, what's on second? I remember that skit. I remember watching it when I was a little kid. Not that I'm old enough to remember that being like first aired, but when I was at Grandma and Grandpa's house, they had a TV station that would air all the old TV shows during the day, like Gunsmoke and Bonanza and Laurel and Hardy and Three Stooges and Honeymooners. Would come on after Grandma's soap operas. So, but I also like putting the parchment down just because it helps distribute the heat. So you don't get the scorch marks and stuff. But I'm going to leave a little bit of warble in some of these because I like the warble. but there's still a little bit of a warble to it right in here. But this is, I thought that was cool. So there's that. This one done. And I'll do more later, but I wanted to get these ones done because I want to show you what I'm going to do with these. And this is the marker paper, or yeah, this was the marker paper. So this is a little heavier duty, not quite cardstock, but not copy paper either. I did get some really big sheets of newsprint when we went to Paducah the other day. Master's Touch was 50% off, so I bought a thing of tracing paper, which I'm going to show you a cool thing that I learned from Nick, and I'm going to put my own spin on it, of course, but I got to test it out first, so we got to see if we can get the printer to cooperate. If not, I will just go to Staples or whatever place I can find that does printing, and I'll just pay to have it printed out, which would be cool because it'd be laser printer versus inkjet. But I'm gonna put that on the list of things that I need. New printer. I want it. The one that I want to get though is the Epson one. There's an Epson one where I think it's called the Tankless or something. I don't remember. But all right, hang on one second. I need to blow my nose. My nose is running again. So give me a moment. I'm gonna mute my microphone so you don't listen to listen to it. But it's annoying me. So okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry. I couldn't find my box of Kleenexes, so I just had to use a napkin. Okay, and then I had to wipe my hands off with some rubbing alcohol because I'm weird that way. So I'm going to press a couple of these. And I'm just going to put them like three. I put 3 of them down because I don't want to press them too much. I just want to press them so they'll lay somewhat flat. I have Kleenexes in here somewhere. I just don't know where they went. Okay, there is a wobble right there. Why is there a wobble? Okay, it must have been a fold in the... Okay. Now, see, now they lay nice and flat-ish, but they still have the kind of crinkle feel to them. You know, they still look a little crinkly. Okay, so we're going to do... we're going to do just 3 of these. And then I want to grab a couple of these. We're going to do 3 signatures for this book. So I want one for each signature. So I'm going to grab 3. There we go. We're going to put these aside. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of press them all together just to get the main bulk of it out, but still have the crinkle effect. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube on junk journaling, or treasure journaling, as I like to call it now, because to me, junk journaling just leaves me feeling yucky. It's like, I don't make junk. I don't make junk. My self-confidence is bad enough. Jeez, I don't need to make junk too. But some of these girls that are ladies or women, whatever you want to call them, some of them, I honestly, no offense, and I love them dearly, but and you know, kudos to them for putting it out on the interwebs, but some of the stuff is just not to my liking. It's not to what my standard is. And you know, if they like it and they enjoy it, go for it. So there's a lot, and there's a lot of them where I'm like, I wouldn't do that. That just looks not right. And, you know, junk journaling is what speaks to you. So if that's what's speaking to them, more power to them. Okay. So those are nice and flat. And we're going to take this way right here, because this guy's going to go in this book too. We're going to press him out. And then the rest of these, maybe. Yeah, let's do this one too. Now these I don't want to do because these are laser printed. I have a black and white laser printer. I need to get a new drum for it. I've got plenty of ink. I got plenty of toner. I need a new drum because they're starting to print with lines. So, and splotches and stuff. And that just means I need a new drum, which isn't that big of a deal. It's a cheap brother. I paid $25 for it. In fact, I paid more for the refill of toner than I did for the actual printer. So, but yeah, I just need a new drum for it, and then everything will be fine. So here we go. And because I'm me, I'm going to unplug this iron, even though I'm going to stand out here and do this for a little bit longer after the live stream. I'm just going to unplug it because I'm a klutz and I will hurt myself. So we have a safe place to put this so I don't be a klutz and hurt myself. So I'll put this right here. That's a good spot for it. Okay. So, oh wow, I really like the edge of that, so I'm going to have to save that. Anywho, put the parchment paper up here. And put these 2 pieces of paper over here. I'm going to fold this in half. Ooh, that's really warm. Oh, I probably shouldn't have ironed right on that. Oh well, it'll flatten out. It's a self-healing mat, right? Oh yeah, it's going down. Oops, Daisy. I shouldn't have done that. I should have put a board down. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Oh well. It's all better now. Just gotta hold it down for a minute. All right. So, one of the things that I worked on yesterday, let me find it real quick. Okay, so one of the things I came up with yesterday is, okay, I have all these composition books Like I should say. So let me see if I can find one. Hang on a second. I'm going to blow my nose and find a junk journal, a composition book at the same time. Watch me. Okay, hang on. Okay, I think we're muted. Yep. So I get these at the dollar store. Or you can get them at Walmart too. They're cheaper. I think they're cheaper at Walmart. I think they're 88 cents at Walmart. But Walmart's across town. And I go to the dollar store and I see a cute cover that I like. And so I buy it. It's $1. But all I did was I went in and I found the middle. And I took a scissors and I cut the string on all these little things because it's just one big signature. And excuse me, I told you my nose is draining and it's awful. But I'll survive. And then I cut the covers. I cut the covers to be 6 by 9. And then I cut a spine. Some of them are an inch, some of them are 1.25 inches. Because I just cut up. I had just one of these for a project that I had been doing before. And I had just one. So I took the middle one, the odd one out, and I cut that into spines. And then I sat outside and I figured out the best way to tape these together. And I used just heavy duty boxing tape. One of the ladies uses Tyvek tape, and I'm like, that's brilliant, because Tyvek tape ain't going nowhere. And it's not going to rip and it's not going to tear, but I don't have any Tyvek tape. So I used clear boxing tape. Make sure to leave a gap between your spine and your back and your front. You can see there's a little gap right there. I used a Bic stick pen, the crystal ones, not the round ones, but the crystal ones. And I laid it down and I used that to help me guide this. This is 2 pieces of tape side by side. And then this is 2 pieces of tape side by side. And then I took some of like the what do you call it? Sheets, cardstock, scrapbooking, 12 by 12. The covers, I mean, you can't use them for anything else, so we're going to use them for a cover. And then I did this nifty little thing with the spine of the composition book. You can see here's the this and here's the that. So I took the spine and I turned it into a little fold out, and we're going to do some fun fold out stuff on that guy. In fact, we are going to probably, can we? But I made a mistake. I cut it too short. So I'm trying to decide if I should just cut it all that little bit shorter. I'm trying to decide. I don't know. We'll decide. We'll probably do that one later. And then again, this is just, and I used my little rounder punch that I bought. I wanted to see if it worked. So I did it on this, and I did, let's see how many books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6. And I've got a 7th one here. Plus, you know, got all the books that I bought at the thrift store the other day. So I've got plenty of stock right now. I'm going to leave this one apart for now. Just because I might come up with a different idea. So hang on, I was going to actually put him. That's why I had him. I don't know. I have another idea for this guy. Because I watch a lot of Nick the Booksmith. I watch a lot of her. And Michael can attest to that. Just because I think she's fun and I like her ideas. I'm not, 100% in love with all the stuff that she is, but that's the fun thing about, things is artistic differences, and artistic differences can be good. It doesn't necessarily need to break up the band, Okay, so let's do this little one. But I wanted to see how quickly, not necessarily that I want to churn these out like butter, but I wanted to see how long it would take me to make up a bunch of, treasure journals that are just simple and basic, and let them be fillable for people. So I need a little bit of tape here to tape this guy down because he doesn't want to stay down. Should have ironed on him. This is just a cheap cutting mat from the dollar store or Dollar Tree. I need to find out if we have a dollar store here, because there's a difference between the two. And someone was talking on one of their videos. I don't remember who it was, but they're like, you got to go to the dollar store to get this. Not Dollar General, not Dollar Tree, the dollar store. I'm like, dude, do I even have one? Okay. So what we're going to do is okay. So put those there. That's not quite big enough. But and that's too big, but okay, where'd my cutter go? Oh, I brought it out here. Where did it go? Oh, it's underneath the paper. Okay. So we're going to cut this off right about here. I don't know where that's at. Ooh. That's not the cut one. That's the cut one. Okay. Yay, scraps. More scraps. I got another one that I watched this lady do it, and I'm like, if we did this, this, and this would turn out so much better. And so we're going to do that one too. Okay, so do I want it? I'm going to take some of my fabric, my Paris fabric, and yeah, let's do it this way. I want to do it this way. So what I'm going to do, mark where that's at and give myself a little bit to fold over. So there's the crease. And then once we get this on here and the glue dries, then I'm going to hit it with some different inks. I'm going to start with some linen inks because this is still really stark white. And I don't like stark white. That's still really cool. Scrap piece of paper. Okay. And there's no right or wrong side to these right now. But once you start gluing stuff on there, you want to know what's front and back. This is front, this is back. I'm going to use this right side up. I'm going to use this right side up because this has less dark. And I'll show you the French fabric that I used on one of the tumblers. I have a bunch of it, so I'm going to use that on the spine here. And we're going to use, well, I guess we're going to use this beacon stuff. You know, I used to have a bunch of bottles, little bottles. No, that's little bubbles. Oh, I know where they're at. Hang on a second. This is my special bottle bag. Oops. It's okay. Normally I would use spray adhesive in this instance, but I'm inside today and I don't want to make myself all giddy. Okay, so this is the thing about being a vape person, is you get to have access to all these cool little bottles. So, well, these are bottles that I bought. This is a condiment bottle. This is one of the Dollar Tree ones, I think, or maybe it's a Walmart one. I thought I had a little wire one. This will work. So I've got my little caps in here. These are brand new, clean, never been used. The caps that go on top. So, you know, someone who vapes, have them save their bottles for you. Because these are just all the bottles that I've saved. I have more that need to be cleaned. And these I cleaned out by soaking them in Dawn dish soap and hot water, washing them out, and then rinsing them in bleach water, and then rinsing them out. So they've been cleaned and sanitized as best to my ability. Well, I'm going to need a lid, Tish. Oh boy. Okay, so let's... When I opened this, I pushed so hard with the sharp, pointy object that I cracked the top. So now I'm just finding various bottles to put this in because I have to tape the top on so it doesn't dry out. So I've got my other bottle, but gosh darn it if I didn't forget it up on the back deck, because that's where I've been working. Just because it's so, whoopsie daisy, so beautiful outside. See, it's cracked. Whoa. You're going to get persnickety, aren't you? All right. Well, he doesn't want to go in there. Watch me make a mess. You can watch. This is, you know, this is the joy of live streaming. Stuff doesn't go right. There we go. Okay. Well, we're going to use this. We're just going to spread it out. And then we'll come back with the tip and get where we missed, if we missed anything. Because we don't want any pockets of glue that are like bumpy, because that'll show through on the paper. Okay, there we go. Look at my finger later. All right, so we're going to line this up, this edge, just like that. I'm going to slide this up just a smidge. Okay. Oh. Yay. Okay, so I'm rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. Always, always. If you work with resin at all, ever, rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle is a necessity. I get the ones from the Dollar Tree because I drop them so much. Getting the ones that are more expensive doesn't make sense. Be careful when spraying alcohol and breathing. If you have breathing issues, it can trigger an asthma attack. It can trigger, bronchial issues. So be cautious and be careful, my friends. Okay, so we're going to put, this is nice and full. I'm going to clean this top off though. And we're going to put the little cap on there and put this cap back on. Okay, because I split it, so I tried cutting it and making it not so split, and it split more. So I added insult to injury. That was Wednesday night, and that was not a good night for me, apparently. Okay, so grab the wrong bin. Nope, I didn't. Here it is. Okay. I keep all my tools in the scrapbook bin. And of course, someone has to call right in the middle of a live stream. Okay, brayer. Hopefully it didn't. And now the air conditioner is going to kick in too. It's okay. It's just my friends. Okay. There we go. And then peel this up. And cut this off. So it's not so much bulk. You know what? I'm going to stick this to something. There we go. Because that's kind of cool paper. And there's glue on it. But there we go. Oh, better. Okay. So let's trim this down. Okay. That can just go in the scrap bin. One of the things that I'm doing too, and I know it's going to sound a little crazy, is I am saving my scraps of paper that I am not using, like the little tiny scraps. I'm going to put them all in a bin. And then I am going to make papercrete out of them. So you talk about upcycling. I'm just going to put a little extra on there just because I don't trust it. I think it's dried already. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit extra on here. I'm going to put it kind of in the crack of where the paper meets the, that way I can press that up. There we go. And then we'll just bring that down. We're going to put fabric on this side anyway, so But you just want to make sure that it comes down. My corners don't match perfectly. That's okay. Just want to make sure it comes down and connects. If there's a little extra glue ball, just make sure you ball it off. Okay. So the glue I'm using today is Fabrifix, and it is $11.99 at Hobby Lobby. Boo. But I tell you what, this stuff is pretty amazeballs. Okay, again, crack. And up. Okay. Okay, I gotta learn how to fold these corners better because that's gonna bother me. I'm a little OCD, but it's gonna get covered up with fabric to the, it'll still be there, kind of. Okay, so let's get the extra glue off of there. All right. Okay, so there's the back cover. Okay. And now let's do the front cover. I don't know why I did it that way. I just did. So we're gonna trim this off right about do I want the big set of leaves or the little set of leaves? Yeah, we're gonna have to do the little set of leaves, otherwise we're gonna cut the rows off. We don't want to cut the rows off. So I guess we'll use a Sharpie because I want to mark where I want to cut this. So we're gonna cut this. So there's the edge, and there's the edge. And I want it slightly off center anyway. Okay. So I'm going to cut it right there. Okay. Okay. I want a different cutter. This thing is so janky. Okay. So I'm going to cut it on that side of the black mark so I don't worry about having the black mark show up. Usually I have a pencil in my ponytail, but I don't have a pencil in my ponytail right now. So we're going to put that in the scrap pile because that's still really cool paper. That's, that's a fun thing about doing this is you get to use some really cool things. Okay, so we have that. And we're going to cut right. Oh, come on. There we go. So we got that little bit, that little bit. Let's come right there. And then we'll cut the other piece off by hand. That way we have a little bit of wiggle room. Make sure this is straight though. There we go. That was the other thing I was supposed to get at Hobby Lobby, and I forgot. I was supposed to get more blade refills for this, but oh well. It is what it is. Hey, do we want to do it this way? Wait, that's not, yeah, no. It wouldn't work anyway because they cut it already. Silly Tish. Okay, so just to get an idea where my edge is, I'm going to kind of fold this over just a little bit. Not enough to actually crease it, but enough to know where to put my glue. So, and then we're going to leave this. We want to go right up. There we go. Okay, fill in. Okay. You're all like, that little bottle is not going to last you very long. Well, I only used about 1/8 of an inch because it's got such a small hole. Okay. So let's lay this down so it meets up. There we go. And bring it right down. This moved a little bit. Stinky little stinker. My brayer needs to get washed. This is why I like spray adhesive better, because you bray it down once and you're good. Now I got like little bubbles. Okay. So I'm going to snip this off. Okay. I'm going to let this sit upright over here. It's out of the way. Man, I didn't cut that very straight. Hang on. I suppose it doesn't really matter. It's going to get covered anyway, but I know it's there. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can do this right this time. Okay, so we're going to put a little dot here. Like so. Okay, so try and make that angle as good as possible. And then we do the same thing over here. A little dot. And there we go. Okay, so we're going to do same thing, crack. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. So I don't have a bone folder, but I have a bunch of these wooden tools for clay, and they work great. So I think they're actually better than a bone folder because this is bigger and I can hang on to it better. So there's that. Yeah, this is great. I like this little bottle. I have it in another little bottle too from the dollar store. There, that corner is much, much better. More evenly spaced. I know it sounds a little anal retentive, but I want to make sure my corners are nice. You know, they're not all haggardy. Okay, we got that. And I'm going to put this a little bit right here. Yeah, I like this bottle better than the other bottle. Not to judge, not judging, just saying. And I'm liking the fact that I can use this folder to do my dirty work. Yay! Okay, that one's a little more spaced out, but we're going to work with it. It's okay. No one, okay, here's the thing that I keep telling myself because I am a perfectionist and I have to have things just perfect. No one is going to notice my mistakes except for me. So, and if they do, they're not going to say anything. And if they say anything, then they're probably a really good friend or they're going to get punched in the face. So, we'll go. All right. So I'm going to let this dry. Excuse me. Okay. Because what we're going to do is we'll probably put this in the... Oh, does it fit? Does it fit? Oh, it'll fit. Sweet. So I might have to do a little something up in that corner and this corner. I can put a pocket in there. And that'll cover that up. So we can do... We could do this in the middle. Okay. But I'm going to let it dry and set up and do all its things. I'm going to show you real quick the fabric that we're going to use for the spine. But there's some stuff we got to do to it first. Oh, geez, Pete. Okay. So this is 100% cotton, I think. Yep, 100% cotton. We need to put some interfacing on it to have it be a little bit more sturdy. But this is cool fabric. When I saw this fabric, I think I bought like 6 or 8 of these little fat quarters. And this is how I like to buy my fabric. It's just the little fat quarters because they're like $1. And yes, do they cost more? Probably in the long run. But I don't want a bunch of bolts of fabric laying around. They fold up nice and neat and I can flip through them and like a card catalog and then when I'm ready to use it, I just pull out one and it gives me enough for a couple of projects. And yeah, so we're going to use this as the spine. So we'll probably do something like that on the spine, like that. How cool is that, huh? So, but then I'll have a whole bunch of fabric ready to go, and we can do a couple of, Paris ones. I've got the French cookbook stuff. I've got the grungy papers. I've got some other stuff that we can put on the front and make some pockets to go inside. Even a pocket like this, you put it right here. Maybe not a gusseted one, maybe just a flat pocket, put that on the inside, yeah, it'll look really cool. I'm so excited. So join us next week. But this is, I'm going to do some of these books with some of my papers that I have, my art papers. And this is bubbling up. Dang it. I'll just have to put some stuff on it. And it's okay. That's why we have stuff to put on stuff. So, I don't know why it did that. Anywho, I'm going to put some of the papers, the dipped papers from my artworks and stuff. And then I've got some other stuff that I'm going to spray on paper and, make it match the colors of the artwork. And so when you open it up, it's got notebook paper with color coordinated art pages. So yeah, but there's the start of a book, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Ta-da. And then we're going to bring back that other set of books that we started too, because we're going to do the Chicago Screws. So we got a lot to do. So, do something. If you're working along with me, share with me. Send it to me on Facebook or on Twitter. Or if you have my phone number, text me, because that's usually the easiest way to get a hold of me, because there are days where I ignore my Twitter and ignore my Facebook just because it's so negative. But anyway, so I got to label this guy before I forget. And so join us next week for the never-ending saga. I can't write and talk at the same time. Okay. Otherwise, I start writing what I'm talking. It's a thing. So, if you'd like some of these, let me know. I can throw them on an envelope or a little box and get them off to you. Anywho, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. We will be coming back to you tonight. It's Friday Night Flip Cup, and next Wednesday is Artapalooza. And next Friday morning, we're going to continue this book and maybe bring in another couple other ones. I try to keep these only an hour, but if I'm feeling better next Friday, we will go ahead and do a longer session. Do more stages, because like you get to a stage like this is I need to let this glue dry stage, and this is still a little tacky, and I've got more things I need to press, and so I've been working on a lot of stuff. I did all that tea staining. I did all the cutting of all those books, and then I taped them all together, and then plus housework. Boo! I hate vacuuming. Vacuuming is stupid. But until they figure out a way to not have a Roomba attack a cat, I gotta do it this way. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.